Y'all, this is when One Piece characters flex too hard. This video is by VinnyTube. Make sure you guys go and support him. I'll put his link in the description. All right, let's get to it. One Piece do be flexing hard, man. Let's see if this list is right though. All right, let's get it.
邪魔だな。おい。
Okay. Looking at old school back. Yeah, One Piece do got a lot of flexing moments, I ain't gonna lie.
There's the OP MC flexing, and then there are OP character flexing. Get it? One Piece moments are so outrageous and over the top that you can't help but watch them over and over again. Am I right? Today we're talking about some of the best moments when One Piece characters flex too hard. Let's begin. To start, we have Rayleigh, the old guy who looks like he should be retired and fishing, but instead he's out here casually reminding everyone that he's called the Dark King. In the world of One Piece, there are 3 lines you're not supposed to cross. The Grand Line, the Red Line, and Rayleigh's line. And trust me, the last one is the deadliest. When the Marines went after Luffy, Rayleigh stopped them and drew a line between him and them, advising them not to cross it. So yeah, that was the day no asses were kicked because no one was stupid enough to step to Rayleigh.
Not a damn soul crossed that line. Not a damn soul, because they knew better.
Honestly, who could blame them? When the Dark King draws a line, it's not just a warning, it's a death sentence in disguise. This scene shows once more that Rayleigh isn't an evil person. He lets them choose their fate and doesn't kill them right away.
Overall, good guy. Straight up.
Whiskey Peak, where Zoro gave us one of the most hilarious and badass moments in One Piece.
I see they're bringing the old school shit back. Simple.
You see, the Straw Hats roll into a seemingly friendly town where everyone is acting super hospitable, throwing a big feast in their honor. But of course, this is One Piece, so
waiting for them to go to sleep, right?
Simple. Turns out the
townsfolk
are actually
just
bounty
like feeding
hunters
them
from
and
Baroque
stuffing
Works,
them,
planning to take the crew down the moment they pass out. Except they forgot one tiny little detail. Zoro don't play like that. While everyone else is snoozing from the food and booze, Zoro's sitting there like, oh, you thought I wouldn't notice? The bounty hunters, clearly underestimating their target, swarm him by the dozens, thinking they've got this in the bag, but it's a big mistake. Zoro proceeds to solo the entire town of bounty hunters in one of the most comically one-sided fights in the series. Moral of the story, never underestimate a man who can get lost walking in a straight line, but will always find his way to a fight.
That will always get lost. Those guys ended up becoming really good friends.
We have to talk about the time when Sanji flexed
this
something even bigger
was
than
insane.
his legs, his heart.
That fight with him and Queen, they gotta have him and Queen. Anaru is another character that's just kind of like got thrown in the wind a little bit. I definitely hope he makes his comeback at some point.
Sanji's I needed a light moment was a legendary display of both guts and sass that only the Straw Hat could pull off. It happens during the fight against Enel, the self-proclaimed lightning god who thinks he's untouchable because, well, he's made of actual lightning, isn't he? Sanji, however, isn't here to bow
against
down
anybody
to any
else, literally
wannabe.
he is.
He's here to flex. Now, when Enel zaps him with enough voltage to power an entire city, he casually stands up, brushes himself off, and hits Enel with the most nonchalant line in One Piece history.
Lights the cigarette too.
I just needed a light. Why is this moment such a flex? First, it's peak Sanji energy. The guy gets fried by the literal embodiment of lightning and still finds time to crack a one-liner. Secondly, it shows how Sanji remains cool under pressure. Sanji knows he's outmatched, but he doesn't let that stop him from giving it his all.
By the way, Sanji's been smoking since he was like 12.
Ultimate mic drop moment. NL might have the power, but Sanji's got the guts, and in One Piece, that's half the battle.
I just needed a little light. Gangster. I know nothing happened.
Let's move on to Aokiji
with Zoro.
It
has to be
casually
on
decided
this
to
list.
freeze the sea just to prove a point.
Close the whole ocean. Not all of it, but a good portion of it. Insane.
I have to admit, before Aokiji showed up, the Marines didn't really seem to be that strong. This dude is the one who actually made us feel hyped for them. Anyway,
real.
things take a serious turn when
they
Aokiji
introduced this
shows
stuff
what
about,
he's
like,
really capable of. The guy dips his
once
hand
they,
into
like,
the ocean and
introduced this idea of like admirals, and like there's people in the Navy and the Marines beyond just the fodder, the like the weak motherfuckers and shit. Definitely made us hype. We couldn't wait to see what the rest of the admirals look like if Aokiji was doing this on just some like flexing shit. You know what I'm saying?
freezes everything. We're not just talking about a small patch of ice here. He freezes an entire stretch of sea for miles. What's truly impressive is the speed of his ability. He froze the entire sea in a matter of seconds. Aokiji's Devil Fruit takes what should be his biggest weakness, water, and turns it into his greatest strength. It's such a flex because it completely flips the script on what it means to be a Devil Fruit user. For anyone else, the sea is their doom. For Aokiji, it's just another part of his arsenal. So yeah, Aokiji freezing the sea is really cool, pun intended.
Gangster. He should have been a fleet admiral, bro. That would have been...
Moment when Shanks rolled up to Whitebeard's
But we needed a
ship
bad
seemed
guy
so
over there,
legendary,
man.
it might as well have come with its own theme song.
We needed
and
a reason to go
slow-motion
kill
entrance.
Akainu after what he did to Ace. Well, that's actually reason enough. This was gangster, bro. This is when I knew Shanks. I knew Shanks was like that since the beginning, but this was like, this is when I like got interested in the whole. This part is like when I got interested in the whole like thing of Aki, because I hadn't heard about it. Maybe they had said this prior to this point in the show, but the first time I heard about it was when the Jewel guy from the Whitebeard Pirates, I forgot his name, Diamond Jozu, when he's like his hockey's too strong. I'm like, what the hell is that? But yeah, man.
You see, Shanks' entrance isn't ordinary. When he enters, he makes a statement, given that he appears once in a blue moon. Sure, the man doesn't need flashy moves or a loud announcement. His sheer presence is enough to shake the very foundation of the pirate world. Imagine having
his
such
hockey was on a
incredibly
level
strong
of
conqueror's
breaking
hockey that you end up knocking
material.
out
Like,
Whitebeard's crew
that's what, like,
left and right like dominoes. He doesn't even lift a finger. All he does is step onto the deck and bam, half the crew is out cold.
That's crazy.
It's like the ultimate mic drop, but instead of a mic, it's dozens
This is
of
when I was like,
unconscious
bro, I
bodies
cannot
scattered
wait
across
to
the
see
floor.
Shanks in
Shanks
like full
doesn't need
combat.
to fight, shout,
And
or
then
make
this?
a scene. His existence
Oh.
is enough to remind everyone in the vicinity
When
that he's
he
a
used the
Yonko,
future
one of the
sight
strongest individuals in
against
the
Kid.
world. When you can assert dominance without even trying,
Insane.
you know you're on another level.
誰にも止められなくなるぞ。暴走するこの時代を。
Kizaru, my favorite admiral, man.
Next up, we have Kizaru versus
My
the
favorite,
Supernovas, the
Borsalino.
moment where the man himself,
My
the
favorite by
glinting
far.
light of the Marines, shows
I
exactly
love
why
any-
you don't mess with an
I'm a
admiral.
big fan of anybody in any anime that uses any form of light powers. I think light powers is the greatest form that you can have. It is the best form that you can have. Yeah, man. Nothing beats light. Not a damn thing beats light. Except character plot. And plot armor and all that shit.
The fight is like the ultimate showdown between speed and power, and spoiler alert, Kizaru is the embodiment of both.
Both,
You see, the worst
exactly.
generation are all standing tall and proud, thinking they've got what it takes to take down a Marine Admiral. They've got their insane powers, their huge egos, and a lot of ambition. They've been making waves, and now they're facing off against Kizaru, who's like the embodiment of light speed trolling. Kizaru starts moving so fast that it's literally a joke. He's not running, he's teleporting with light speed kicks, knocking out pirates like they're nothing. Getting kicked at the speed of light? Yeah, you'd be lucky if there was anything left of you after that.
That's what
Why is
makes
this so
him so
much fun?
dangerous.
Because it's the
He doesn't even
ultimate
need to be
flex.
strong.
The
The
worst
speed makes him
generation might be
strong.
They might
Speed
be
equals
ambitious,
strength
and they might have
when
big
you're
dreams,
moving that
but
fast.
Kizaru, he's like, yeah, I've been doing this for years. You want to challenge me? Cool, good luck.
And look at him. He's just so nonchalant and like and laissez-faire about everything, but he's so damn
destroying
strong.
Rockworks fleet is a moment when you sit up and think, damn, Ace is a straight up beast. You see, Luffy and gang are dealing with the whole Alabasta mess, and Baroque Works, led by Crocodile, have been pulling all the strings behind the scenes, causing chaos in the kingdom. The Straw Hats are knee-deep in it, trying to stop Crocodile and his criminal organization from taking over. But then, bam! Ace shows up and decides he's had enough of this nonsense. Now, Ace is known for his devil fruit powers. He's got the Mira Mira no Mi, the flame fruit, which means he's literally made of fire. So when he comes in, it's not subtle. He's burning through Baroque Works' forces like it's nothing. They had this massive organization working behind the scenes, but all it took was one man with a Logia fruit to turn it into a blazing inferno. The sheer power and ease with which he took down Baroque Works' fleet makes this moment one of the most epic flexes in One Piece history.
He shouldn't. Very seldom should Ace be like even losing a fight or look like he's losing a fight with that devil fruit.
Going to the next one now. We've got Magellan flexing his powers
I'm not gonna lie.
Blackbeard and his crew, making...
I'm a huge fan of One Piece and everything, and like I started watching One Piece a long time ago, but I don't remember watching this part. Impel Down, don't even remember watching it at all. Like I remember what happened, you know, in Marineford and everything, and like right before that, but I don't remember watching Impel Down at all. It's weird.
It clear he's got no patience for Blackbeard's nonsense.
Yeah, like all of this, I don't remember it. Don't remember watching it. Because in the beginning, I watched One Piece, but I watched it to a certain point, and then I stopped watching it for a long time, for like maybe like a year or two. And then I came back to it. I think I might have stopped watching it right before I got to Marineford. And then I picked it back up, and I might have just skipped this and just went right to Marineford. But yeah, shit was lit. But I definitely need to go back and like rewatch these couple episodes or this arc or whatever.
This dude single-handedly defeated Blackbeard and his crew in seconds. I mean, he could literally kill them right there if he wanted to. Magellan really is a total mad lad. He didn't think twice about attacking Blackbeard, even though he's a warlord. I absolutely love how he doesn't waste time and just immediately goes for an all-out lethal attack. Magellan almost ended Blackbeard's dream right there. Magellan wasn't just the warden of Impel Down, he was the embodiment of poison, death, and authority. And anyone who thought they could challenge him was about to get a toxic reality check. The way Magellan humiliated Blackbeard is what makes this a great flex. Dude wasn't scared or even intimidated. He handled the situation so smoothly that even Blackbeard was left looking like a fool. A total boss move. Alright, let's talk about Doflamingo's overkill mode. And let me tell you this man takes flexing to a whole new level.
Doflamingo's a savage, bro. He too, I feel like, had like.
When it comes to being a villain, Doflamingo is
he's
like
a good
one guy
villain and
who
everything. I'm not saying he didn't
rewrites the
go
rules.
off and he
Imagine
popped
having
off,
so
but
much power, you could literally.
I don't know. I feel like he. Nah, I'm just tripping. I was gonna say I feel like he could have done more, but this man enslaved. Oh my god, the way he did Dressrosa is. It's crazy. Never mind. I take that back. I'm definitely just I'm tripping.
Crush anyone with a snap of your fingers, and then you proceed to break their spirit. That's Doflamingo in a nutshell. In his fight against Luffy and Kairos, dude literally split the palace in half just by kicking the air. Man, how insane is it that Doflamingo just casually kicks through every single palace tower like it's no big deal? I mean, it took Gaku a whole 10 seconds using both legs and a full-on swing to pull off a kick that could take down a tower. But Doflamingo, he just does it like it's walking through a door. And the best part, physical combat isn't even his main game. He's all about manipulating people with his strings, but when he wants to flex, he absolutely decimates everything in his path without breaking a sweat.
Okay. Good fight, good fight. I know the internet was hype when this nigga Luffy did this.
You all know how much anime is a part
and they cut the episode.
Right? And let's be real, nothing beats showing that love by collecting some awesome.
I wish I could get a react. I wish I could like go back in time to see every human being that watches One Piece's reaction.
Came through like fate. Let me tell you about the anime merch. These guys.
I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it.
giant walking fortress made of rock. He's pretty much the
Okay.
definition of I'm tough and invincible. But Zoro's not fazed by that at all.
Yeah,
In one
I'm glad
clean,
they
effortless
showed
swing, he just slices
Zoro
through
popping
Beaker like
off
it's
like this,
nothing.
too.
Like, imagine the sheer guts it takes to look at something that big and go, I got this. And just
And
to
they
add some
showed the
extra
hockey,
flavor to
too.
the flex,
I think this
Zoro
might have
doesn't
been
even break a
Zoro's first
sweat.
display
Does
of
anyone
hockey.
even grasp the
Like-
sheer level of humiliation Zoro put Beaker through in this fight?
First, like,
Zoro didn't just
display
beat
of
Beaker,
armament
he
hockey.
obliterated
Let
him
me
like
say
he
that,
was
'cause
a
I think he
total
might have used,
non-factor. Beaker,
observation
this massive
prior to
towering
this,
rock
or
titan,
shown
was
that he
reduced to
used
nothing
observation.
with a single swipe of Zoro's blade.
上出来だ
Yeah. That's a little-
And we can't forget about the moment when Law just casually decided to show the
Yeah.
Marines that their whole we can control the battlefield vibe wasn't really going to fly when he was around.
誰一人逃がすわけにはいかねえ
Took all their hearts or something. Yeah, I remember this. Take that shit.
This moment is a perfect example of Law's overpowered abilities and just how much of a flex they really are. Law uses his Ope Ope no Mi or Op Op fruit to create his signature
As much as I love old One Piece, and I really do, I can't wait till they get into the scenes with the newer, post. I'll say probably Wano and after. After they get to those scenes, I can't wait.
room, which is basically a domain where he can control pretty much everything within it. The sheer power of it is ridiculous, but what makes this moment even more insane is how Law uses his room on the Marines during the Punk Hazard arc. He moves them around like chess pieces, pulling off all these crazy maneuvers without lifting a finger. He's just chilling, casually rearranging them and messing with their
Law has, I think Kizaru has the best fruit, but Law has the most practical. There's so many ways, so many applications to Law's fruit. Fucking insane.
positions as if they were dolls. It's almost like Law's playing his own personal game of Tetris. And the Marines? Well, they're just the blocks getting shoved around and dissected.
メス
Took this man's heart.
カムサリ
Don't do that. Now we're getting to it. Yeah.
Moving on, we have Shanks absolutely breaking Kid's spirit.
Yeah. Insane. This was crazy and much needed. For
So,
sure.
Eustace Kid, with all the audacity in the world, thought it would
This
be a good
was
idea
needed,
to waltz
man.
into an Emperor's territory and pick a fight with none other than Shanks. Well, talk about overestimating your crew's strength. Kid thought he had a chance, but when he launched an attack on the red-haired pirates, it took just one member of Shanks' crew to completely decimate the Kid pirates. Then came the real showstopper. Shanks unleashed his Divine Departure, a move first used by none other than the legendary Goldie Roger. Seeing Shanks
Soon as he
wield
said
that
Divine
power was
Departure, I'm like,
absolutely
"Now,
divine.
Roger,
It was
is that
like
you?"
watching a living legend in action. And Kid, yeah, he didn't stand a chance. This is the
Bodied
same Kid who
Kid.
fought against Big Mom for a while and even defeated her with some help. But that single move from Shanks made it clear that the
That's crazy,
Red-Haired
too.
Emperor was on a whole other level.
After all of the shit that Kid and Law did for Wano, they got out of it. They beat Big Mom, all for each of them respectfully. Respectfully. To get just bodied by one of the emperors. Law gets destroyed by Blackbeard. Literally, crew is dismantled. They're pretty much done. And Kid is his ship is sank by Shanks. After all the shit they've been through just to get out of Wano, that's tough. They popped with that. They popped
Now,
with
let me
that.
tell you about the time when Whitebeard made the sea itself do a little flip to remind everyone who the
Imagine
real
if
boss
Whitebeard
is.
was still around. Tough.
So, Whitebeard, the world's strongest man, is going toe-to-toe with John Giant, who's no slouch himself, towering over the battlefield like a walking mountain. But
Honestly, if I was being for real, I don't think Law or Kid could beat this version of Whitebeard if he wasn't getting jumped. That the versions that fought Shanks and Blackbeard, I don't think they could beat Whitebeard 1-on-1. Luffy can, I think, with Gear 5 and all that, but especially this version of Whitebeard. But I don't think Law and Kid could. Especially Kid. I don't think Kid could. No. Y'all let me know.
Whitebeard? Nah, he's not impressed. And just for fun, he decides to tilt the whole scene.
Like
no big deal. Just a casual flex to let everyone know who's still in charge. This was the moment when the audience and even Luffy finally saw what the top really looked like. Let me tell you, it wasn't just John Giant who was about to be humbled. Everyone around him, including the Marines, got a front row seat to just how insane Whitebeard's power truly was. And remember, this isn't just old Whitebeard, this is old Whitebeard with a terminal illness. Whitebeard's sheer power was a whole other league, one that most pirates can only dream of.
If Kizaru's the embodiment of light and speed, Whitebeard's the embodiment of power.
Luffy versus Lucci was one of the most highly anticipated fights in the history of One Piece.
Yeah, he fucked Lucci up. Lucci was not ready for this. I was back.
And that was the fight that made everyone lose their minds. Let's rewind a little bit. Rob Lucci, the same guy who gave Luffy one of his toughest fights back in Eni's lobby, is now rocking that drip and feeling all kinds of confident. After all, he's a hardened assassin with years of experience and a brand new transformation under his belt. But Luffy? Luffy's not playing games anymore. He's out here in Gear 5, aka Looney Tunes mode, laughing, bouncing around, and looking like he's having the time of his life. Lucci, on the other hand, is all serious, ready to throw hands. You can practically hear the record scratch when Luffy casually knocks him out with one punch like it's no big deal. What makes this moment so epic is the sheer
reactions on my channel, by the way.
Luffy didn't just beat Lucci, he clowned him. This wasn't a long, drawn-out battle full of blood, sweat, and tears like their first fight. Nope, this was Luffy flexing the insane power gap between them now.
Straight flexing, dude. I thought Lucci was gonna give a little bit of go, but this is Gear 5 Luffy at the end of the day. Like,
diving into one of Kaido's wild.
This introduction for me, by the way, to Kaido, this right here when he falls, probably top 5 introductions of all time to any character. Especially when they get to talking about his background, how many times they've attempted to kill him, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro. First time I saw this, I was going crazy. I didn't think it was Kaido at first, though. I thought it was somebody like, I don't know, some dude from
so strong, so indestructible that you start treating death as your ultimate hobby and still fail at it. That's Kaido for you. This guy's nickname isn't the strongest creature in the world for nothing. People have tried everything to kill him. Swords, spears, cannons, even executions. But no, nothing works. He's even been captured multiple times by the Navy and rival crews, and every time he either escapes or just tanks whatever punishment they throw at him. You see, Kaido gets so fed up with being invincible that he tries to end himself. Like, who would do that? He jumps off a freaking sky island, a place so high up that falling from it should reduce anyone else to a red splatter on the ground. But what happens to Kaido? He crashes down, creates a massive crater, and then just walks off like he tripped on a curb. The whole
like,
I can't die no matter what shtick makes Kaido an absolute legend. It's one thing to be strong, but to be so strong that death itself gives up? Now that's next level dominance.
Let's start the greatest war. This is, oh man, I was hooked, like beyond hooked on the One Piece when he said that. Let's start the great. I'm like, what do you mean, bro? After all this shit going on. Damn. And then they got to showing us some guard shit? Come on, man. What's going on?
One of the most jaw-dropping moments in One Piece, Garp unleashing his legendary Galaxy Impact, a move so devastating it feels like it could shake the stars themselves. This epic punch doesn't just hit, it sends shockwaves that resemble a cosmic explosion, living up to its astronomical name. It's the kind of move that reminds everyone why Garp is a marine legend and why he's still a force to be reckoned with. Garp uses his awe-inspiring technique to save Kobe, his beloved student, who's been kidnapped by pirates.
Demon,
when Garp
man.
falls down, he doesn't just hit his target, he obliterates everything in the vicinity. Solid ground reduced to rubble. Structures all gone. The battlefield is left as nothing but a massive crater, proof of the sheer force behind his punch. It's not just an attack, it's like a declaration of absolute dominance. The moment is pure hype, showing just how insane Garp's strength really is. It genuinely feels like he could make the entire earth tremble with one punch. Unbelievable power with legendary execution. This scene truly cements Garp as
And
one
it
of
comes
the
down with the
greatest.
hands crossed, the arms folded like this. Come on, bro.
納得いかんのう。すっかり驚いた。
Let's talk about the time when Kaido decided to remind everyone why he's called the strongest creature in the world by casually one-shotting Luffy like it was nothing.
ライメ
Lightning Haki. Bam, bam. I don't care what anybody says.
Now Luffy, fresh off his win against Katakuri, and
Luffy
feeling
didn't
like
get
he's
that
on top
win
of the
first,
world,
like,
rolls up to
you know what I'm
Kaido's
saying?
turf with all the confidence in the world. He's got that
If
fiery
they were to fight
determination,
one-on-one for
his
real,
haki's blazing, and he's ready
without
to
Kaido
throw
having to
down.
hold
And
up a whole
Kaido,
item
he's like, oh,
and
this
literally
kid,
fight everybody else on
Luffy
that
goes
motherfucker.
all out, gear forth, King Kong
Yeah,
gun, and the
yeah,
whole
Luffy
works.
lost.
The kind of effort that could level mountains. But Kaido, this man doesn't even flinch. He tanks all of it like he's swatting a fly and then casually swings his massive kanabo. One Thunder Bagua later, and boom, Luffy's out cold, face down in the dirt. The sheer difference in power is humbling, showing that Luffy still has a long way to go before he can even dream of standing toe-to-toe with the Yonko.
何の王になるだと小僧
Why are you still looking at?
Do you remember that moment when Luffy unlocked Gear 5 and turned the battlefield into his personal cartoon show?
Monkey, monkey.
Well, let's talk about that. Kaido was mid-monologue, flexing his Yonko superiority when suddenly Luffy's heart decided to remix the battle soundtrack with the iconic drums of liberation. And then, boom, Gear 5. Luffy literally broke the fourth wall of the entire One Piece universe. With his new godly tune-like powers, Luffy turned Kaido's brutal life-or-death battle into what felt like Saturday morning Looney Tunes. At one point, Kaido went to attack and Luffy literally grabbed the ground like a piece of stretchy rubber and slammed it over him like a blanket. Who does that? Only Luffy. And let's not forget the moment he turned his giant fist into a city-sized wrecking ball to punch Kaido so hard you'd think that the planet was gonna crack. Iconic, unstoppable, and ridiculously fun. That's Gear 5 Luffy for you. And with that, we'll be wrapping up this list of the moments when One Piece characters flex too hard. Looking for something more? Take a look at the most legendary one-shots in One Piece. See you soon.